CIO News. I'm Akash Mistry, your host for the broadcast at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, cionews.co.in and CIO News LinkedIn handle. This is an exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. Businesses are built by experiences they provide, and every day, millions of those experiences are delivered by Avaya. Avaya is shaping what's next for the future of work with innovation and partnership that deliver a game changing business benefit. So let's dive in and let me introduce my guest for today, Mr. Amit Dixit. He is the Chief Technology Officer at Zolo. He has over 2 decades of experience of product and software development, technology roadmap development, cloud migration, and cloud strategy across business domains such as banking, retail, ERP, and e-commerce. We also have Mr. Adarsh Kaul. He's the India marketing lead at Avaya and our moderator for today's session. He comes with 20 plus years of experience in business market strategy with a strong mix of strategic, analytic, creative experience and a proven history of working with IT and telecom industry. Over to you, Mr. Adarsh.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you for doing this. I've always, admired the way that you get great speakers across for these sessions. And believe you me, I go back very, very, I don't know, at least intriguingly intelligent is what I would probably call myself after all these chats. So thank you for doing this. Amit, thank you very, very much for joining in. Really honored to have you across uh, on this chat with us. Uh, Although I would, of course, I have a staple set of questions, but generally, I would love if you can give me, creative liberty in coining my own thoughts across in the way we speak to each other. But having said that, of course, what I wanted to understand, Amit, it'll be nice if you could probably introduce the way, what is Zolo Stays and what does Zolo Stays do and what is your primary role? What is your encompassing perspective across on the role that you do? And how do you affect the business when it comes down to doing what you do? So it'll be nice if you can take it over.
Thank you, Akash, and thank you, Adarsh, for having me here. So, Zolo stays, I think, one of the largest co-living company in India. We provide co-living accommodation to our customers along with COVID. So basically, we call it as a managed living. There are many areas. For example, we are into industrial housing. We are in uh, student housing also. So we manage hostels, college hostels as well, and along with that, our co-living is our primary business. So we are into managed living segment, and there are many other areas. We are so in COVID, we started trying out in different areas also, which were not so COVID affected. So this complete managed living area was most COVID affected area, and we started looking into some ed tech business also. So it is growing. It is growing a little slowly, but yes, it is growing. We have got a real estate developer uh, business, which we call it as a ZSETs business, which complements our co-living business. So there are other things also, but primarily everything is related to managed living. I think we are 7-year-old company. We closed our Series C funding in 2019. We are trying for, we are working for more fundraise, and yeah, this is where we are. And after COVID, we are, we have started again growing. We are back to the, we are not exactly back to the COVID, pre-COVID levels, but yes, our growth has been phenomenal in the last 4 or 5 months. Our occupancy is touching 85%. So things are looking very promising for us.
Interesting, Amit. This actually gets me across down to two questions. And since I probably have kids who are probably the age that you're probably catering across to, your audience, therefore, is two sets. Your audience is probably me as the parent, and your audience is also my kid who's going to be going across and studying across in another city or probably in another part of the world using your services. Am I understanding correct?
Yeah, your understanding is correct. So we try to catch our customers really young. So we try to cater them in colleges, and after that they can come to cities and they can utilize our co-living facilities in different big cities. So we are present in 10 cities, all the big metro cities, and some smaller cities like Coimbatore and yeah, Coimbatore also. Yeah.
Interesting. So, how do you manage customers' experience? Because this lot is a very different lot altogether. This is the millennials that you're talking to, and as I said, you're also talking to the millennials, but you're also talking to the parents because at the end of the day, they are the ones who need their whereabouts, their entire interests. How do you manage customer experience across? What are the kind of channels that you use across your customer experience? Are you digitally present, or are you only digital? Are you also available from a voice and a social perspective? What all are the different channels that you use across for engaging your customers, settling your customer queries from a perspective of your audience that you have?
Right. So, very good question. So, we are present in almost all the channels. Uh, we have got, so our main focus is on digital channels, but traditionally we have got big sales team which takes care for field and as well as inside sales also. Uh, we so basically it is a very, there are multiple touch points. So we've got our customer journeys, and we try to find out which are the different customer stages. So we've got a pre-onboarding stage when we are trying to find out if somebody is looking for accommodation, if somebody is willing to stay in co-living kind of accommodation, and whether he is looking for the services which we are offering. So it is a pre-onboarding experience, and there are multiple touch points, and there are multiple channels which we look for. So for example, there are leads which are coming from various affiliates. For example, No Broker, we go to housing.com. So there are a lot of people who are searching from there. We get some leads from there as well. Then you've got people who are directly visiting our properties, and they're just trying to do the visits without making any online connection. Then majority of our traffic is coming from organic search. So we've tried to improve our we've tried to improve our website from SEO point of view. So our majority, 80% of our traffic comes from organically from search. So we are present in all the channels. Plus we have got WhatsApp bot. We have got bots also, because nowadays new generation, they are more comfortable with texting than talking to people. So we are present in all these channels. We've got different personas. So as you said, parents are also our customers, and then students are also our customers. So there are different kind of buyer personas. Typical young age crowd, which is young age crowd, less than 25. Then we've got a cohort which is 25 to 35. Then we have got people beyond 35, age 35. So these are different personas. So nowadays people, they look for more engaging communities. So I'm not sure if you've seen our website. We have got a very personalized room matching algorithm. So we collect some information from our customers, and accordingly we try to run. We try to use artificial intelligence, and we try to provide them options that, okay, this particular customer, if you are looking for a shared accommodation, then this can be a best fit for given your requirements. So we try to do a personalized roommate matching. Along with that, every customer, every cohort has got a different kind of interest. So we create cohorts according to their interest, according to their food habits, and we try to create different communities so that customer feels more engaged. And if customer is more engaged, they tend to stay with us longer. So we are using all the channels. We are using artificial intelligence, machine learning, all sort of algorithms to make sure that we give a very personalized experience, and exactly what they are looking for.
Interesting. Which kind of gets me across down to a complete different paradigm. You are in the business of rendering services at the end of the day from the perspective of your audience. And the fact that there is enough and major competition in the space that you're in, especially across from mom and pop shops. I could probably open up a PG as well, technically, if you ask me. Of course, the fact that living in a branded PG is different across from living across in a Zolo space. How do you create that differentiation when you're handling a customer from a customer experience perspective? At the end of the day, you're an organized setup. From an organized setup perspective, it is difficult for getting everybody, a personal or a physical visit across of the place where they're staying. Finally, of course, there would be a physical visit. Without that, I'm sure in India it will be difficult for people to decide. But at the end of the day, how do you differentiate across from your customer experience perspective when you're handling a query or when you're handling a customer request? That's point number one. And how does it kind of do you have like a benchmark across with that you've set up across that this call was a good call because it qualified in parameter A, B, C, D? That's the first part of the question. And sorry, I'm being inquisitive about it. Do you have like a benchmark which is set up, which is like an industry benchmark? Probably you are probably one of the only ones in the industry. So therefore, have you created your own benchmarks across for that, which you can pass on across down to the other audience, which are probably in the service industry, if not to the related business?
Sure. So I think your question is more related towards pre-onboarding journey where we are trying to have a lead and we are trying to work on that particular lead, and then based on that, on daily basis we get lots of leads. So on an average we get approximately 10,000 leads per day from various channels, right?
Wow,
Then
10,000 leads.
yeah, then it becomes
And
very
how do you deduplicate them? Sorry, I'm pre-butting in the question. So 10,000 leads across from at least five different channels that you pointed out. You've got that chatbot, you've got the organic search part of it. So you're using, of course, the search engines. Then you definitely would have socials. So therefore, social is Twitter,
we have got
Insta,
Google Ads, we've got
Facebook, and then you've got
Facebook,
your
and
Google paid advertising, and then you've also got voice bots doing some stuff, and then you have a call center as well, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, we've
And
got
and and and,
outbound,
and,
yeah, all, yeah,
and then you
outbound.
also have and then you also so how do you deduplicate these leads that the same Adarsh call is not called up by five people?
Yeah, so that way, I think we have got a CRM which does that. So whenever we get lead, before we get into onboard those leads into our system, we ensure that there's no duplicate lead, and typically we use phone number. So in case if somebody is searching with two different phone numbers, definitely we will not be able to do duplicate. Definitely we'll end up calling them twice. But what we realize that 30, 40, 30, approximately 30%, especially when things are coming from affiliate or in many times organic also, because people are searching in various platforms and we are getting those details from affiliates also, and then people are coming to our website also, and then we also have different campaigns running. So before we onboard all those leads into our platform, it automatically deduplicates, and we don't have duplicate leads into our system. And after that, we have a mechanism of scoring these leads.
Okay,
So
interesting.
yeah, so we based on so our focus now, what we are trying to do is we don't want to make outbound calls for each and every lead, because it requires a lot of human effort, right?
Mhm.
If people and when we are making so many calls, because when you cannot make calls to all the people, right? If you have 4 6,000 or 7,000 leads, it's very difficult for anybody to call. We'll have to have a very large sales teams, right? So we have a scoring mechanism uh, based on, and plus what we do is as soon as we get our leads, we have different channels where we send notifications. If we see that there is some interest coming, in that case we score that lead, and according to that lead we act on it. So only we call it as a hot lead, and then we act on it, and so that we are not wasting a lot of effort. We are not making calls to the people who are not really serious or who have already got something. So we try to connect with them by using different channels. We send them. So many times what we have seen, over 50% uh, times when we are sending any communication, when we are giving them bot related information, they go to WhatsApp and they try to communicate with us. We have got all the journey mapped in our bot, where if they are looking for property in a particular city, we give them all the information in the bot, And after that, if they require any help, in that case, we do outbound call, or we request them to call us back. So we have a scoring mechanism, and based on that scoring mechanism, eventually leads are converted, and then we finally ask them to download our app. And unless our pre-booking is made, we don't call that lead as converted. So once pre-booking is done, then we'll call that lead as converted. After that, we have to retain the customer also. So there's a post onboarding flow, and we've got a big ticketing mechanism. We've got a customer support, customer experience management center here. So we've got ticketing system. There's a way of monitoring how we are dealing with the tickets, because see, you spoke about different mom and shop, many PGs, small PGs, which are there in Bangalore in very huge numbers. But it is very difficult. See, one differentiating point is it is very difficult to discover those. When people are in city, then only they get to know about it. It is very hard to discover about that. Second thing is safety, security, especially hygiene. All that has become a very big criteria post COVID. So that way, we are offering a very consistent experience, and we are offering that consistent experience by using technology. So it is across all the cities. Then the kind of security mechanism we have, the kind of checks and balances we have, kind of guests are staying in our properties. We've got a proper document verification, facilitated by technology, which is foolproof. So that way we are able to give a very consistent experience, and I believe that that is the edge which we are having. And of course, by using technology, our customer acquisition cost is also lower than the regular mom and pop stores or mom and pop PGs. So that gives us an edge, especially in terms of customer service, in terms of customer acquisition, in terms of operation.
You kind of took my next question away by answering the way you answered. But having said that, uh, would it be then clearly a good statement to make that you are not a brick and mortar company, you're a click and mortar company? So there is clearly amalgamation of technology along with your entire, backends that you're building across. Everything is technology oriented and technology dealt.
So we call ourselves as consumer internet company. So everything starts from technology. So
Okay.
though traditionally, because of the way we were operating earlier, there are some human touch points, but uh, we are planning to be approximately 90 to 95% digital only company. So we want to move everything from human. I think right now also it is very very little, but we want all our pre-bookings to come via digital channels, not by our call centers. We want to use our call centers more for better customer service than for
Mhm.
generating leads.
Interesting, interesting. I would actually be intrigued across from a perspective to understand that how does the AI part of it play across on the customer experience part of it? If you can delve that, you did touch that across on this thing. And by the way, have gone on the Zoro sales side. So when I find a co-location area near me, then you actually go across and do a complete survey on me. If you could probably kind of dovetail on that, and how does it kind of affect across your customer experience, it'll be nice if you can probably elaborate on that part of it.
So that way, actually, we are not capturing a lot of information of our customers. So, as soon as you do, so based on geolocation, we are searching, and we are trying to give you suggestions based on the location where you are exactly right now. Uh, in case if you are in that city, if you're not in that city, we've got options where you can choose. So we are very particular about not capturing the, very specific information about a customer. If at all we do it is based on cohorts, we never try to capture the information which is very personal to the customer or his location. We don't trace customer based on location. As soon as he says that okay, I'm looking for PG in this particular location, we definitely go and give him options which are closer to him. So, so that particular piece is not We are not using a lot of complex algorithms, but uh, they're as I told you about personalized roommate, right? Then we have got making communities. For example, I'll just give you one example. For example, you have a bikers group, right? A lot of people who are staying in our properties, uh, maybe 2% or 1%, all of them are doing biking. They can create a we can find out their interests, and that's how we can create a small group within that locality. For example, in one East Bangalore or South Bangalore, and all of them can plan for an event and they can just go for a biking trip. Similarly, if somebody is interested in partying, right, or somebody is interested in some book festival, so we capture those kind of interests, and that's how we try to find out. And based on other interests also, we can say predict that, okay, if he's having interest in this particular area based on the data we have, he can have an interest in these areas as well, and then we can give him options. And according to those interests, we try to create a very close communities. So what we have seen, if people are happy and if they find people with similar interests, they tend to stay with us longer. And there are many other things. For example, so we use AI and machine learning more on the customer experience side. So, for example, how do you track? So, there's one metric we capture. It is NPS, Net Promoter Score, and it is very important metrics for us. We try to find out if there is any correlation, if NPS is going down in a particular property or in a particular city. Is there any positive or negative correlation with number of tickets, with number of with the aging of the ticket? So those correlations we try to find out. There also we try to find out if in case if somebody is raising more tickets, what is the probability of him moving out of the property? When do we have to take the corrective action in case we see if some tickets are taking very long to solve? We've got those kind of dashboards which are monitored directly by senior management, and we try to ensure that no ticket goes beyond. There are different type of tickets. If somewhere some plumbing pipe is broken and there is a water leakage, that is a P1 issue. It has to be solved in one day. But if there are issues which can take 2 3 days, so we try to ensure that nothing goes beyond 5 days. If any repair and maintenance work is there, we take those on priority. So we've got very nice. So some key metrics we have, and it is monitored at all the levels. And on daily basis, we discuss those metrics and we ensure that we are providing best service to our customers. So that's where we are using artificial intelligence and machine learning more in our
Did Amit just drop? Yeah,
yeah
no, he's there.
yeah
Cool. So sorry, we just lost you for a minute. Yeah, great. Amit, honestly speaking, kind of gets me across down to my last question actually, because you kind of
Mhm.
gave me a complete ideation across. Just was just one of the randoms. Uh, you therefore would be a firm believer of cloud from a product perspective, of getting a technology. Had cloud not been there, you would have probably not existed. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you will find very few startups who are multi-cloud, who are using multi-public cloud. So we are using both AWS and GCP, and all our payload is running in cloud as far as our internal softwares are concerned. Good thing about our company is we are using almost all our softwares except of course this IVR solution is not our own, but all other softwares what we use, CRM or Discover or facility management or co-living management system, all these systems are in-house systems, so we have built it on our own. So all these are deployed in cloud. uh, and some system, for example, IVR solution also, the solution which we are using, we had an on-premise solution before, and we saw a lot of challenges. First thing is, in startup you've got a smaller team, and in a smaller team it becomes very difficult to manage these kind of day-to-day issues, applications, because you have built and you are servicing so many customers, so you've got a team, but softwares which you don't own. For example, some software which is, I'm just saying, a notification provider or some communication service, right? Which is something which you don't own. In that case, it becomes very difficult for us to maintain that, and having a dedicated team to manage that becomes very difficult. So we all these third party systems also, we have some part of it on premise right now, but we face a lot of challenges, and it becomes very difficult to get the support also for these kind of applications. So then we decided to move everything on cloud. We have got very strict SLAs agreed with the partner, and we review those SLAs regularly. And so far, I think they have been quite good. Whether it is internet service provider, whether it is IVR solution provider, or CRM, or lead man, sorry, not CRM, lead management. I think they. So all these are in cloud. We everything you can say that all our systems we have nothing on premise.
Interesting. So, Amit, one last question, since you kind of gave across a hint across in your COVID part of the time frame that COVID was actually bad for you. Of course, it was bad because you're into co-living, providing co-living spaces. I have a different twist altogether for you from a question perspective. What it seemed across from the conversation, you're a very strong in-house and build kind of a guy, or are you a mixed kind of a person that build some and what you cannot outsource it? Is that the understanding, or is it the first case? Everything is in house, should be in house.
So I will say that we have clarity what we want to build and what we want to take it up from outside. That clarity we have. So whatever
Fantastic.
we need to build, we don't take it from outside. And there, as I told you, IVR solutions, that's something definitely we are never going to do it. Payment, we are never going to do it. So definitely we have to use payment gateways. Internet service provider, or yeah. So those kind of areas we will not be there. Um, so, uh, but so I will say that we have clarity where exactly we want to be in house. All the applications which are used for customer service, day to day, our co-living property management, all those systems are going to be in house, and we are going to maintain it because there is a business. There is a specific reason behind it because it is very hard to find a typical solution for it. You will get a lot of facility management systems, but this co-living whole business is very new in India or in the world also. So it has got a very specific nuances. And when we are building our own software, it becomes very easy for us to deliver a very customized experience to our customers.
Thank you, Amit. Seriously, thank you. This really, really helps. And I think absolutely an eye opener. Probably offline, I'll probably call you. I've got two properties in Gurgaon and one in Noida. If you want to take them across as Zolo stage, do let me know. But thank you for that. Thank you very much. Very enlightening. Thank you, Akash, for doing this. Seriously, seriously, some absolutely lovely insights presented by you, Amit. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Adarsh.